After weeks and weeks of having to cancel for weather, even though the kids had a snow day from school, we are still having Lifeline! Woo! Lifeline!
But if you close your eyes.
Every other week with our middle school students, we do this thing called Crew Night. Crew Night is our medium-sized environment. We also have small groups, which are like 5 to 10 students each, but we tried to have like a medium-sized gathering where it's not huge, but it's not small, where it's bigger than 5, smaller than a couple hundred. So we did this thing called Crew, and Crew were broken down into smaller groups of like 50 students each. The way we decide which crews students are in is based on where they live and where they go to school. So essentially, like all the kids from one certain school district, they're all in one crew. And the kids from the school district that's go over here, they're all in one crew. And the kids from this school, they're all in this one crew. Essentially, based on where they live or where they go to school is how we break them up into their different crews. Leaders show up at 6 o'clock. Our leaders from each crew is made up of about 10 small group leaders. They each gather in the spot where they're gonna have their crew gathering, and they have dinner together, and then as a crew, they're just hanging out, being a family, being friends, doing life together, talking about whatever they need to talk about, and then at about 6:40-ish, students start arriving. From 6:40 to about 7:05, we're hanging out in the lobby. As usual, kids are coming in, we're greeting kids, we're welcoming kids, they're playing Gaga Ball, they're playing 9 Square, they're talking to their friends, they're eating candy, and then at about 7:05, they go in to their 4 different crew spaces. And they're essentially running a smaller youth ministry within their sector of the building. So they're running games, and then they're doing a story, like one of their leaders will tell their testimony, tell their story. Then they're having a teaching. All the teachings in our crews are via video. And so there's a consistent teaching across every crew on every campus. It's via video. After the video, they do this thing called a spiritual practice. This is a way that we're trying to teach our students that they can connect with God other than singing songs. We do worship with the band on our large group nights, but then on our crew nights, we're doing spiritual practices where sometimes it's prayer, sometimes it's journaling, sometimes it's meditation, sometimes it's different spiritual practices where we're teaching students how to interact and connect with God in ways other than singing songs. So after the spiritual practice, then they'll go as usual to their small groups, and they'll discuss the teaching and have their small group time at the end of the night. So that's what a typical crew night looks like for Lifeline. For our middle school students, we do that every other week. One week is large group, next week's crew night. Large group, crew night, large group, crew night. It kind of happens like that. End of the night, everybody comes back together, hangs out, we say goodbye, and they leave. The leaders huddle up in their different crews, kind of talk about how the night went as far as their small groups, and then everyone goes home. There you have it, Lifeline Crew Nights.